We are now streaming live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook world. I am so excited to be here this morning with my self-care sensei, Russell Mariani. Good morning, Russell.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody.
Now, I think everybody knows what self-care is. I think all of us are lacking it, especially for those of us who are work from home entrepreneurs trying to do good in the world and help everybody else. Sometimes we put ourselves last, but I think not everybody knows sensei. They might remember Karate Kid, that sensei is teacher. And you have been teaching me so much. I mean, I've been studying health for a very long time, but the things that you've taught me, even just the very basics, even water, so important, like so much stuff. Tell me from your own experience of a little bit. I mean, I know you've had these huge breakthroughs, but tell us a little bit about some of the breakthroughs that you've experienced from clients, and even why you got into this whole world of understanding how the body can heal itself.
Well, that's a big question. So my entry into the world of natural healing, I'm actually celebrating my 50th anniversary this year of when I started. So it was actually January or February of 1973. I was 18 years old. I was a senior in high school, waiting for all my college acceptance letters, trying to avoid going to Vietnam. The draft was still happening, and my lottery number had been number 1 on January 1st that year. So there was a lot going on. And unfortunately, I had been suffering some really painful, uncomfortable digestive system symptoms, which landed me in the doctor, had a colonoscopy, and was told that the doctor thought I had colon cancer. So that was a bit shocking, because about a year prior to that, I was perfectly healthy, but I had gone on this crazy high protein diet and literally had symptoms, within a few weeks, but never connected the dots. So about a month later, the doctors settled on a diagnosis of precancerous, what they called precancerous ulcerative colitis, which they said was medically incurable, and there was no known cause, and I'd probably have to be on medication every day for the rest of my life, and probably need surgery to remove part or all of my colon before I was 30 years old. And I was like, what is wrong with this picture? Made no sense to me at all. And I remember that day asking the doctor, do you think this has anything to do with my diet? Because that was the only thing I could think of, because I had radically changed my diet. And his answer changed my life, because he said, no, there's no connection. Has absolutely nothing to do with your condition. And I said, well, what causes it? How did this happen? And he said, we don't know, maybe stress. And so when I left the office that day, I knew 2 things. I knew I wasn't going to go the medical route. I didn't like that doctor. I didn't like the way he dismissed me, wouldn't answer my questions. And then the other thing was, I don't know that I'm right, that it is connected to my diet, but that's the first thing I'm going to pursue, because it was just common sense. So literally within a month of going back to kind of my normal diet, and then starting to read all kinds of things at the local public library. There was no internet back then. But even back then, I found several books that were clearly linking the lack of dietary fiber with a higher rate of colon problems, including colon cancer. So that was the first change I made in my diet, just eating more, whole grains, eating more fiber, eating more vegetables. And literally within 30 days, I started to feel significantly better. So that was the beginning of my journey, if you will. And I went to school to study macrobiotics. Back then, it was a fairly large movement of people and teachers who were, that's where I learned the word sensei for the first time, who really had studied traditional diets, not just in the Orient, but in Western cultures as well, Italy, France, Spain, Norway, Sweden. And the traditional diets of most cultures experiencing a four-season climate had not fundamentally changed in thousands of years until the Industrial Revolution, which brought us, all kinds of packaged foods and processed foods and a real straying away from a local diet. Fortunately, that's gotten very popular in the last, 10, 15 years. CSAs, community-supported agriculture, buying local, supporting local farmers. So that's a really great turn of events. But basically, so I went back to school and had about a 7-year period of learning, and I call it my apprenticeship. And then in 1980, I felt like I had learned enough of the fundamentals, and I had seen enough people improve their health through these type of dietary and lifestyle changes. So I've been in private practice since 1980. Basically, what I see is the biggest mistake that people make is in the fundamentals. For example, you brought up water. Nobody questions that hydration is an essential health habit. Nobody. In fact, everybody has a water bottle or 2 or 3 or 4 water bottles. And they probably go out of their way to drink more water than usual or more water than they used to. But what I learned about 25 years ago is that there's a very particular approach or a very particular method for making sure that your body is properly hydrated day after day after day. For example, it's based on body weight and activity level. So if your body actually needs 60 ounces of water a day, you weigh 120 pounds, and you're drinking 50 ounces of water a day, you would think, well, that's pretty close, but you're 10 ounces short every single day. So even though you're drinking what everyone would say, well, that's a good amount of water, it's not enough. And so your body may not be getting all the benefits from proper daily hydration. So that's an example. I mean, when I learned about this, what we call the water cure, it had a profound effect on my health. One of several things that I discovered, along the way. And so for many people, for most of the people that I work with, it's the first thing that I introduce to them. It's really the first change that they make. And many times, within a week or two of just making that one change, they start to feel much better. Their energy starts coming back. Digestion starts to work better. They're sleeping better. So, because all health challenges are challenges of functioning of cells. If our cells are healthy, then we're healthy. It really is as simple as that. And the physical structure of every cell of our body, including our bone cells, nerve cells, liver cells, kidney cells, is water. Like 50% to 75% of the physical structure of every cell is water. So that if there's drought anywhere in the cells of your body, you're going to have symptoms. In fact, the medical doctor who made this discovery, the title of his book was Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And the subtitle was, You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. And it was such a revelation. The basic idea there is when your body manifests a negative symptom, like a headache, like joint pain, like fatigue, like gas, bloating, cramping, your body's trying to communicate to you. It's trying to send you a message. And if each of us had an owner's manual, we could quickly look up, oh, what is this symptom? Oh, I'm dehydrated. Oh, I'm not drinking enough water. Oh, I'm not getting enough rest. Oh, I'm not, getting enough exercise. But that's what's missing. So we don't have an owner's manual, and that's an analogy that I use. So what I feel I've put together over the last 50 years is to have identified the root cause areas for all chronic negative health conditions. So hydration is one of them, and there are 6 others, and that's what I'll be talking about on January 25th. We'll go over what each one is and how you can make changes to immediately see results in your own health, in your own diet, and your own lifestyle.
That's such a beautiful synopsis of the whole experience, right up to, again, you've got a master class, the Roots of Health master class, coming up on, I said, January 25th, Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, yeah.
At 8 p.m. Eastern time. And one of the things that I loved about your program is because a lot of people have tried different things to improve their health, and nutrition is often one of them. And so people think of these radical diets, and what you brought in was how it's a very incremental changes. You start off with the water, and then there was a couple, 2 or 3 that you start off with these little teeny changes. And then when you start to see the effects of them, for me, it was with arthritis and debilitating pain, not just in my hip, but in my knees and my feet and ankles in the mornings. And so when I started to see that changing, I was like, okay, what's the next thing? What can I do now? And you make it really, really easy, and then it's not like this complex part, and you're going to also explain it in the masterclass. Again, it's a 90-minute-ish, 60 to 90-minute masterclass that people can come to for free. I've got the links in the chat below. If people want to reach out, please post comments down below. Tell us a little bit about some of the people that you've worked with, some of the different things that you said chronic illness, almost all chronic illness. Can you give us some specific examples of issues that your clients have had that you've been able to kind of address?
Sure. So probably 75 to 80% of the time, people find me because they've been suffering from a digestive system disorder, gas, bloating, cramping, constipation, or loose, urgent, frequent bowel movements, Crohn's disease, colitis, colonic inertia, things like that. So they have other issues. They have arthritis, they're not sleeping well, they might have skin problems, they have energy problems, but it's the digestive system problem that's the most annoying. It's the thing that's really destroying their quality of life. So that typically is what gets people to find me somehow and then start working together. But it really, so it spans the gamut of symptoms and conditions. But I'm thinking of one young lady, her name is Abigail. Hopefully she'll be with us on the 25th to share her testimonial live. She, at the age of 13, had her gallbladder removed. Later, the doctors told her and her mother that they had made a mistake, that they probably should not have done that. But as a consequence of that surgery, she never felt normal again. She never had a healthy day again. She never had good energy, and her digestive system just didn't work at all. She had all the symptoms of IBS, gas, bloating, cramping, chronic fatigue. She didn't sleep well. She couldn't gain weight. She had all these symptoms. And of course, she had tried many things through her mom. She and her mom had gone to many different doctors and many different therapists, tried many diets, tried many supplements. But when they found me, I put them through the same process I put everyone else through, starting with this recognition of complementary habits and insulting habits, chewing your food, not eating late at night, having a balanced meal, learning about hydration, and then starting with certain type of supplements. And then the most important thing for Abby, in my experience was that we walked her through an herbal cleanse and reconditioning of her intestinal microbiome. There's a condition called dysbiosis, intestinal dysbiosis, where the bacteria, the wrong kind of bacteria, end up dominating the system. And when that is the case, it's very difficult for the person to recover fully their health, even if they're doing some of the other things. So literally within about 30 days, she called me and she said, "Is it possible that I could be better already?" I said, "Well, probably not 100% better, but you certainly can be on your way to feeling much better, because now you're not inadvertently interfering with your body's desire to heal you." So that's literally that's principle number one in functional medicine and functional nutrition, as I understand it and practice it. The body is hardwired to heal itself. The only problem is I don't know how to cooperate with the self-healing mechanisms of my own body. So once I learn how to get out of the way, how to stop insulting my body, how to stop blocking my body's desire and ability to fix and repair all problems, then yes, we can improve very quickly. We can heal very quickly. And so that's just one example.
And that's really a perfect example, because again, it talks about the process of the biome and how important that piece of it is, and as well as this issue affects every part of the body, no matter what chronic illness somebody might have, or if you have friends that are suffering right now. I urge you to join the Roots of Health Masterclass. Join us live if you can. We will have a replay available, but when you come live, Russ will actually be able to work with people on the call, talking about some of the problems and some of the first steps that you can take to start addressing these naturally. And that's the big thing, is that it's all natural healing rather than medications and other types of alternative healing. This is just a really beautiful way for me. It just feels so aligned. It resonates. Like it just feels like this is what my body wants. And I just feel like over the last year, I'm celebrating 1 year. It's January 6th that I actually started your program, although we were working together before that. Getting through the holidays and everything. Okay, now I can commit. And in just the first 30 days, I lost 40 pounds and felt more better. And just the whole last year, like my mind, like I feel sharper and definitely more energy and more vibrant. So thank you, Russell. I appreciate you being my self-care sensei, and everyone else. I again urge you to join the Roots of Health Masterclass. Sign up for free. The links are below. If you have any questions or comments, if you think you have a unique case that Russell has never seen before, we would love to hear about it. Again, post something below or just show up on the call. Russell.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Mark. I specialize in difficult to solve cases. Most of the people, by the time they find me, say something like, "I've tried so many different things. I feel like I'm at the end of my rope. I don't have any confidence that you, Russell, can help me, but I have nowhere else to turn." And I say, let's get started. Let's do a thorough evaluation. And always I discover that in these 7 root cause areas, there are 1 or 2 things that they have not been introduced to yet. They have not been practicing consistently, or like in the area of hydration, they're drinking lots of water, but they're not doing the water cure. They're not doing this very precise formula. So yeah, so please come to the live event. We will have a live question and answer session at the end of the webinar.
Yes, and you've always been very, very generous with your time, your energy, your knowledge. This is all about service. We really appreciate the way that you help your clients, and I have such a admiration for the work that you do, and gratitude.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. Any last words before we go? Anything last you want to say before we wrap up?
I would say 2 things. I'm very grateful myself. I have a very high level of health because of the teachers that I have had, and they've always been available to me. They've always been very generous with their time. They've always been very dedicated to their own self-care. You know, that's something that I learned a long time ago. And so I am passionate about teaching other people how to be and become more proactive in their own self-care. So definitely that's what it's all about. You started out the conversation by saying, you know, so many service-oriented people put other people's priorities ahead of their own. When you learn through your own experience, I certainly learned through my own experience, that if I'm not totally healthy, I have a limited ability to serve others. I have a limited ability to pursue my dream, pursue my passion, pursue my vision. So reestablishing our own health as a top priority enables us, empowers us to do all the things that we really to do.
Well, you said the words for me, so I'll wrap it up with just the quick, the flight attendant analogy. We hear all the time about putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, and there's a reason for that. If you are trying to put the oxygen mask on your kid and you pass out, you're not good for anybody. And the same thing with your body. Your body is a tool to help you have this human experience. And I know from my own experience that taking care of my body helps me to be better service to my family, to the people that I work with, to my clients. So definitely it is not selfish, it is self-full to take care of your body, and that you're able to give more when you come from a place of being full. So thank you so much. And thanks for the work that you do. Please take care of yourself. We'll see you at the Roots of Health Masterclass again, Wednesday, January 25th at 8 p.m. Sign up now. Bye for now.
Mark, thanks everybody.
Thank you.